I'm going to be building an AI SaaS from scratch and get complete strangers to pay for it in 10 hours. I'm going to be building the product, the brand, the website, all the itty-gritty stuff when starting a business and getting people to pay for it all within this 10-hour challenge. The goal of this challenge isn't going to be a wait list or a beta product. It's going to be a real product with a real checkout that real people will want to and be paying for. Now, to start this challenge, I have a laptop, a $10 a month Chat LLM by Abacus AI subscription, and a Stripe account. Those are the only two things I'm allowing myself to have during the challenge. And I have no idea if I'm up for it. If it doesn't work out, you're gonna watch it not work out, learn from the mistakes I make during this challenge because I'm filming the whole thing either way. There's no version of this video where I quietly delete the footage and re-record it as a success story. You are going to be seeing everything. Now, the clock for this challenge starts when I stop talking. But before I dive in, there's only one rule to this challenge that I must set at the start. Now, rule number one, and the only rule, is that the whole challenge would take me 10 hours total. What I don't mean is a 10-hour build for a product with a vague plan to market it later. I mean, I'm gonna be building the product, creating a working website and a checkout page, plus all the itty-gritty stuff that I mentioned earlier, and doing the marketing. So the 10-hour clock covers everything I need to do to get a product into the market. However, the result of this challenge will not be within the 10-hour mark because that's just unrealistic to expect any sales or admirable metrics within such a short time span. Now that we got out of the way, let's start our challenge right now. Okay, so let's start already. So the first thing we need to do, which is actually a big misconception that a lot of people think, when they're starting their SaaS or starting their app, is actually to build it first and then market it later. Should not be the way you should be doing things in 2026. You should be selling it first, building an audience first, and then building the product, because it's actually much harder to get distribution than building something nowadays in 2026. Okay? So what I actually already did last night was create an X post saying I'm going to be building an AI SaaS in 10 hours on my X account. I have about 411 followers. So it's good that I'm, with my audience, I'm, getting people a little bit aware of what I'm trying to do so that when I launch, right? Usually the launch X post gets a lot of views. Market it first, build an audience first, and then sell it. But now that you're out of the way, let's quickly do the rest. So in terms of the product we need to sell, I actually already have an idea of what I want to sell. And it is actually this. So I don't know if you've heard, I recently watched a YouTube video about these 16-year-olds making 100K a month through this. And I was super intrigued because what I see is that, they might have an AI agent that's super smart and trained to analyze market data based on news and data, and then give a very accurate, response and pick. But I feel like this is something that we can definitely do. So we already have what we want to sell, which is basically the #1 analyzer of AI analyzer of the market. And our business name, I already went ahead and try to ask Claude for the names. But looking through everything, right, I'm not too happy with the names. Forecaster's okay, right? These, I don't even know what it means. Market Mind is okay. I think we should do Polymind. I think Polymind is better because, if you're doing poly markets, right? So I think that's actually a good name. So let me go ahead and start creating the logo, because now that we got that out of the way, right? We got the product stuff, we got the business name, right? We need to make the logo. So we need to go here. So let's go to Canva and let's search up logo. Oops. Okay, so I'm on Canva here and I want to make a logo. And look, for these type of things, we should not be kind of stressing it too much, right? The brand doesn't really matter too much, right? We're on a timeline. So we're on a time clock. So we got to be creating one that's clean, simple, easy to understand, right? Nothing over the top. Let's literally just put the name Polymind. That's actually pretty clean. I kind of like this. So I'm going to be downloading this. Let's download this Polymind. Okay, and let's take a screenshot. Let's put it over here. Guys, we are doing good on time. So we've done the logo, we've done the business name, we know what we're doing. So we need to create the website. So for the website, I'm going to be using the Chat LLM by Abacus AI's software. So I'm going to be going to Abacus AI, and I'm going to go to a new task, and I want to create a website that has Stripe integrated. So we can go here, right? But I'm gonna ask it to just, hi, can you please create a similar website to, and you guys, this platform, you can literally do whatever you need to do. So we're gonna be building the MVP of the product. We're gonna be building the product. We're gonna be creating the checkout page. We're gonna be creating the website, all on this platform. So I do really recommend you guys to use this if you're making any apps, SaaSes, or you just wanna create a new business, right? I would suggest using this platform to help you guys kind of start a business from scratch, because I think it's really helpful. And you don't have to be technical, right? I'm not that technical. I'm literally just pasting a prompt in. This, I want the copy and sections structure to be similar, and I also want you to make sure the design isn't too similar where people will recognize this as a replica. Okay, so while it's doing that, we want to go back here and we want to start with our offer. So whenever I, try to create an offer, right? And an offer is extremely important because we gotta understand what we're really selling, because that's gonna help us so much when we're doing the marketing and distribution side of this product. So the first thing we want to identify is our ICP, which is basically our ideal customer profile. And it's super simple to understand. Ideal customer profile is just their age. So how old are people on these platforms like Kalshi and Polymarket are? What's their usually age range? What's the usual age range of people that are on Kalshi and Polymarket? So 18 to 34 years old, right? Gemini does recommend 18 to 34 years old, but I'm actually gonna be just having the 25 to 34 years old, because you don't want to have a huge time range on the ideal customer profile, right? You don't want to have more than 10 years in difference. I'm actually a little bit surprised. I thought people would be younger, right? But again, I am pretty young, so the next thing we want to understand are the demographics. I'm gonna put this here. Say, what are the usual countries these people are located in? Okay, so United States. So let's just focus on that, right? We don't want to be too specific, but we also don't want to be too broad, right? We just kind of have the sweet spot. And let's just say the country is United States. The next thing we need to do is figure out what's their occupation, their job level, the income, the education, because believe it or not, it's actually important, because if we're targeting people that are that don't have so much capital, then we might want to go to TikTok, right? We might go post content TikTok. But if we're targeting people with more capital, we might want to post on Instagram, Facebook. We're already posting on X. People on X are usually founders, people with high executives. So it's really important to understand who our ideal customer profile is. So what is the education level and income level these people as well? Okay. And we want to figure out what's their gender, education / income level. Let's call this person's name Alex. Why not? Are they boy, men or women? Usually. Okay, so the income level is usually high, right? 100,000 annually, that's pretty high. Education, 70% of heavy traders on the platform that we just have a bachelor's degree. So we're looking at people who are normal, well-educated, that make a good amount of money every year. Male. We don't even need to look too much on that. Let's just focus on that. Okay. I think I filled this out last night on the one problem it kills. People don't have to worry on their trading strategy. Actually, yeah, this is okay. Our one-line pitch is, what's their one-line pitch? Just go to competitors most of the times. Doesn't really matter. Just copy this. Wait, you're all on one platform of making money. Let's go to Quillbot. Oh wait, Quillbot. And then let's paraphrase this. Polymind. Oh my god. And then paraphraser. And then let's go Polymind is your all-in-one platform. Okay, that's pretty good actually. Our pricing, what's their pricing? $1. First week, $1. I think this is actually not bad. $1 is a small investment where they can see the value and then they can pay for additional. So I think $1 for 7 days is our pricing as well. Our guarantee is, what's their guarantee? I think to reverse risk if you aren't profitable within 7 days of using Polymind, we give you back your $1. I think that's a good offer. Post the offer on X. I think for now, right, we don't have to post it on X. Actually, we could. Because we don't want to split our X post to be too long of a difference, right? You can't be posting on X more than a 3-hour difference, because then the algorithm will, catch it as not that. I mean, just in personal experience, right? X doesn't like it when, you post so much at the same time. So we might want to hold that off and... Okay, let's look back on what they have created for us. Okay, so I've already kind of gone back and forth with the agent, and I've created this platform. It looks kind of similar, right? You can kind of see the similarity. But I think it's good enough where people can, distinguish the difference between the two. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to have to connect my Stripe to this platform so that, people can actually pay for this with the road checkout. And then I want to actually, also start creating the MVP. And all I need to do is literally plug in here and say, hey, now make the MVP of the product. That's literally all I have to do, right? Look, I think it's a good looking website, right? Let me check the mobile version actually. I like this. Okay. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make it say, like for this, I want it, can you make it where it's aligned in the middle and not to the left? Okay. So once that's done, I'm gonna ask it to make the MVP, and I'm also gonna have to connect Stripe first, and then from there, I think we have to do some few tweaking, right? We have to go back and forth a little bit on what we need to do, but you can prompt engineer it correctly where you don't have to go back and forth that much, right? So I'm gonna be doing that for I think the next hour, but we are doing really good on time, guys. So I might go ahead and actually start creating the reels and the distribution strategies I have for my product here. So my marketing plan is to use X, use my personal network on the people like my friends who I know, spend money on these platforms already, and create some Instagram reels on my Instagram channel, and pretty much also maybe promote it on my school community that has over 700 people on it already. So there's a lot of ways on where I can post it on. But yeah, what we really want to do, right? I think the whole objective of this video is that, you want to see how fast you can get it into market, and whether or not, you either get product market fit, probably not, but whether there's actually any demand on the product. Now, because we are already copying something that already works, right? There's definitely gonna be some demand. At least that's what I think, right? But what we also actually have to do is to actually buy the domain. And I went ahead and actually already bought the domain off GoDaddy. And we want to also connect this to our platform here. So the next steps right now is really to connect the Stripe, build the MVP, connect the domain and go back and forth whether the MVP is workable enough where it actually works, the product actually works. We don't actually have to go too much back and forth, but it's got to be at a point where it's accurate enough and it's pulling real stuff for information. We might need to include a Brave search API key. We might need to use some other third-party platforms, yeah, so there's a lot to do, right? So I think our to-do list right now, let's go over here. Where is it? Yeah, let's go over here. And let's say that then the website, we've got the domain. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, right? Phase 4, kind of, right? We have to set up the Stripe and deploy it right on a live MVP. So we're basically at phase 4 right now, which is super good. We're doing really good on time, but I do really want to spend a majority of my time on phase 5, which is distribution, right? Because the distribution is always the hardest part. But yeah, is it better now? Okay, so you guys, I've fixed the mobile version, right? It looks so much cleaner. I love this kind of design and UI. And I've actually already configured my Stripe API. We've built the Polymind MVP web app, which is super good. But now we actually have to deploy this thing, and to deploy it, we want to be using a custom domain. So I'm gonna add a new domain. I'm gonna do the one I already have. I'm gonna say polymind.us. I'm just gonna add, and then let's go to, let's do automatic configuration. Okay, so I'm gonna have to add these DNS records. So all I gotta do is go here, and then let's go DNS, add a new record. I'm gonna do type A, and this, and use this, and then press save. It's gonna ask me to verify. Oh, never mind. Then we have to add this. So I'm gonna add another type A. And then copy this. And then copy this. Okay, let's ask AI what's going on. I'm a bit confused. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a new record. And then I'm going to do this, and then press save. Then should work now. And give it a second. Okay, so I'm just gonna give GoDaddy a couple of minutes to connect, and hopefully by then our domain should be connected. Okay, so my DNS records are working now, and I'm ready to deploy this thing. Before I do, right, I want to make sure the MVP actually works and everything's working really smoothly, where, if someone comes to the website, they go through the process and everything works out as smoothly as possible. So I really want to make that happen and really want to make sure that the MVP actually works and test it out for myself. So that's what we're doing. So what we've done is we have included the Stripe. We can deploy on a live URL. We have built the core features, we built the stack. I want to test this out. Yeah, so we're really just doing this part, and then once that's done, I will do the post and then start the distribution plan, which is by far the most important thing we need to do. So let's just go ahead and try this out for ourselves. Okay, so I'm gonna go preview. Okay, so if I press this, right, I go here. Okay, wait, maybe I should just deploy this thing first. Best way to learn is to try and fail and fail and fail. But now I'm going to see first how it responds. Okay, so while the agent is doing that, I want to go over here and start our distribution strategy. I want to create an X post, kind of giving people a little preview. That way, when they see the product, they're not too surprised on what's been going on. Let's let the agent finish this first. All right, so it's done with the changes that I wanted to make. I'm gonna click the deploy option, and I want to select polymind.us and hit deploy. And as you can see, I literally created an actual AI SaaS, right, with a working website, with a working MVP, right? Okay, so after some back and forth, now the workflow should be complete where I go in any of the CTA buttons, and then I will get to a Stripe checkout where I need to pay, and then I go to the dashboard. So let's, for example, let's start with this, right? Okay, so let's just kind of do this workflow and test it out. Okay, so I've paid the subscription, and then now I press login, and then I'm going to enter my email, and then I'm going to enter my password, and then I press login. And then I have access to the entire MVP. So I can analyze, I get my history, I get my settings, right? So the entire SaaS works. We literally have an AI SaaS from scratch, and we have our offer, we have our ICP finalized, we have a working MVP, we have a working website, we have a working checkout, we have a working workflow. Everything is looking good. The only thing I'm gonna do before I create the launch X post, which I believe will actually get a lot of eyeballs on the product. And I think, it's definitely gonna get a lot of people on the website, and perhaps maybe some people that are, wanna try it out for themselves. I'm going to actually test it out and see if, everything works smoothly. So for this, let's just do a test, and let's just take a screenshot, and then I'm going to drag it here, and then we're gonna do analyze market. And then it's gonna read market data, it's gonna scan live news and signals. It's gonna basically look through the entire internet and give a very well-educated guess on what's the right option and what's the right pick. Okay, so it's giving me a medium risk where it says no, and that I should actually pick no. So look, I'm gonna find something where I can actually look at something that's gonna happen overnight, and then when I wake up in the morning, because it's kind of late right now, right? I'm gonna see, it's 11:20 p.m. right now, and after I put the bet, I wanna finalize the decision, and then when I wake up tomorrow, I will understand whether or not this bot, this AI analyzer really works, and I'll be super happy, I'll be super pumped, and I'll be doing so much freaking distribution, posting my school community, making Instagram reels, making YouTube shorts. I'm gonna be doing a lot and promoting it on my personal brand, and actually getting people to use this product and pay for it because I know it works, right? As well as I'm gonna make the X post tonight. So before I go to sleep, we gotta do two things. We got to find a bet where I can see overnight whether or not the market analyzer really works. And the second thing I need to do is make the X launch post. So the two things I need to do before I wrap this up, and then I continue this challenge tomorrow. So you can see the history. So everything works properly. I like how everything's working properly. It's giving me some data AI picks already on some educated guesses it already has. So I'm really loving how it's going right now. So let me find a bet right now that I can see when I wake up tomorrow and see whether or not I paid the right bet. Okay, so a really common one that I can do, right, is basically do a temperature bet. So the highest temperature in Seoul, Incheon on August 7th. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a screenshot, and then I'm going to go to my analyze. I'm going to paste my screenshot here, press analyze. So once we have our decision here, we're gonna lock it in, and then when I wake up tomorrow, I wanna see what actually happened. What I also wanna do is create the X post. So while it's scanning this, right, let's go to my X account. Okay, so let's go to my X profile here, and I want to create a new post saying, I just launched my new AI SaaS that I made, I knew AI SaaS at 16. I know it seems cliche or kind of cringe, right, to put 16, but it's actually it helps it be more marketable, right? So it's gonna attract more eyeballs. And then I'm going to say polymind.us. And then I'm actually gonna go to Claude here and say, hey, how can I make this X post more engaging and viral worthy? Actually, no, I think it's fine. So I'm gonna press, actually, I'm gonna remove this, and I'm just gonna do this because I think it's gonna attract more people. And I'm just gonna connect this, and boom. I'm gonna go to Twitter, and then they'll see this. Awesome. Okay, so guys, we have literally finished all of phase 4. So guys, we are going so fast. We have finished phase 2, we have finished phase 3, we have finished phase 4. We have finished the X part on phase 5. We're gonna post another X post tomorrow, and then we're also going to be posting some Instagram reels as well as YouTube shorts, as well as my school community and my personal network. So those are the platforms that we're posting tomorrow. And we also wanna check in on my Taoshibet. Okay, so that's it for tonight. And I'll see you guys when I wake up. Okay, so we have to first check in on our Kalshi bet. So looking into our bet, right? Looks like we made the right choice by picking no. If we put money on picking no, then we probably would have made money. I mean, not probably, we definitely would have made money. So I feel kind of assured that this product is actually usable and that it actually works. So what I'm gonna be doing now is I'm going to be clicking off this because I already did that. Before I run my X post, I wanna create a list on all the people I think for my personal network and business network that I think would want this product. Okay, so I've kind of built my list on all the personal and business network people I think would be interested in the product. And I'm gonna be drafting up a message about, whether or not they'll be interested in this product. And I also have to draft up my message for my X post. I'm gonna go back to here on Claude and I say, okay, while Claude is doing that, I wanna also think of what should my next X post be? Because as you can see, I posted this like roughly 20 hours ago, right? And it's gone really bad. It's gotten some couple comments. Let me reply to him actually. Right, so it's really whether or not, I think it's more about the post. I don't think, I put too much effort towards this post. So I think that's the reason why nobody really wanted to, I think that's why the post didn't really go up that well. But in terms of how we can improve it, right? So what we can do is I've noticed that a lot of my X posts, right, especially like these type of posts where I'm launching something exciting, a celebration, or with a picture, right? Something with a picture or something like this where I have analytics. So I think what I can do is I think kind of include that personal story kind of narrative, as well as include what I did about the post, because usually the personal story posts do really well on X, right? For instance, this post, my most popular post, got 13K views, right? So it's really popular, these kind of posts. So what I can do is let me draft up a post with the help of Claude. Okay, so yeah, so I think for the people that have met business network, it's probably better to use this. I definitely agree. So I'm gonna be using this, right? And then let's actually go to my business network first, and then let's send a quick message to the first person on my list. Cross this out here. I say, okay, and I'll send it to him. And then now we got it away. Let's focus more on our on the business network first. And then I'm gonna go to Ritesh Verma. And I'm gonna say, hey, Ritesh, been cooking up something on the side ever since for a YouTube video. Okay, so I'm kind of done with all the business people I think would be kind of interested in this, right? Now I'll go to the people that I know are more of my friends, my personal network, and the people that I know actually actively bet on Kalshi and on Polymarket. So I know for sure that they're on these platforms, and I think that I wouldn't say the target user, or target consumer, or just the ICP, but I think they're relevant to the product. So I want to be using this kind of message template for my friends. So I'm just kind of be going through all my friends, and then so I'm gonna send this. So we're almost done sending all the people in my personal network. Let's just wait into any replies. I'm pretty sure maybe one or two of them is actually gonna try it out for themselves because they're pretty intrigued in these type of things. So usually what I do, right? I'm done with all my personal network, right? So that part is done, but we still gotta be posting on X and on my school community. Okay, so what I usually like to do when I'm trying to find an X post, right? I was pretty lazy with this yesterday, and it's a good lesson, right? You shouldn't half-ass it. You should, put in your effort and time to really create something that's worthwhile, right? Anything worthwhile does take time and takes effort, right? Nothing comes easy in this world. It's a lesson that I've learned from this post especially. And what I like to do with X posts, right? I like to actually just copy a lot of people. So for instance, I like to copy things that are already working, right? I don't like to think of things that, might work because I thought of it and thought it was a new idea, right? I like to think of things that are already working, already in the works, and I know for sure that it has proof of concept already. So for instance, this one, right? I follow this guy. So this one got 16K views, pretty cool. So I think this is a really good X post. So I might copy that, but let's not finalize it let's not finalize it right now. Let's keep looking through. So look, these type of posts where I just sold my company and in 3 months for $300,000, like these type of things are engaging. They're viral worthy hooks, right? And if you can add an image, that would be super cool as well. So I think not a good way I just put the link on it, which isn't great. So I think for my next post, I'm gonna be copying something like this. I'm gonna copy the combination. Copy this, and I'm gonna copy this and this. So what I can do for the hook, I think I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna say, I don't think that's how you spell finally. Wait, is that spell? Oh no. Okay, I made $25,000 a month and I still don't know how to spell simple words like finally. Okay, after 10 hours of straight up vibe coding, I finally finished developing. Okay, so looking at a post like this, let me just read it out loud, because sometimes when you read it out loud, you kind of visualize how when a viewer looks at your post. And then what I'm gonna do is actually post a picture of myself. I'm gonna find the thing on my phone. I'm going to use a very hooky image that you can say, right? I'm gonna be using this picture. I think it's a viral-worthy, hook post image. I don't know, maybe I can spice it up a little bit better. I feel like something is off. Can you give me your suggestions? And add emojis to this as well. Okay. So look guys, we have finished our personal network, we finished our distribution on X, and all we have to do left is to create our scripts for our Instagram reels, look at the content on what we want to make, and then make the content and post it. And then from there, we also have to post on our school community. So I'm gonna post something here on my school community. That's 700 members. So I suggest you guys check it out. I have free courses on learning about how to make AI stuff. Definitely check it out. It's free, so no risk on your side, right? I'm gonna make the post here, make the scripts, post it, and then. But guys, we're doing good on time, right? So post on school community, make the reels, and then from there, I'll give you guys an update within probably like 48 hours, 72 hours on any results. I will not touch anything else. I will literally just check in whether or not we have any sales, any traction, right? You can check over here for analytics. If we go settings, and then we can see the analytics. Let's see the analytics here. So 74 page views, right? Yeah, I think this is actually better. I disagree with this. Yeah, I don't know. Like for these type of things, right? I might copy this, but you shouldn't, follow too much on their advice because you're posting to builders, right? So you don't need to, say too much about it, right? For instance, right? This guy, he didn't post anything much about what the thing does. Probably in the comments, I'll probably say something like he just puts the URL on the comments, right? So that's probably what I'm going to be doing as well. So I want, oh crap, where did my post go? let me copy back this, and let me go back here. Let me go to my images, put the image here. Wait, you wanna take a screenshot of this bad boy again? I don't know, something about the structure doesn't make me feel right. Look, most of these times you trust your gut, right? Trust your gut when it says doesn't feel like the thing you want. It doesn't feel the right kind of thing. So 10 hours. Let me see. I mean, get some ideas. Yeah, I think this is fine actually. And then let's post this, and then let's go over here, and then go here. And then let's copy this. And let's copy this. And let's look at the exemplar. Okay, done with X post. What I also want to do is I want to go to my school community here. And 10 hours. General discussion. Boom. Okay. So I'm done with that. The last thing I gotta do is obviously the hardest part, right? I got to make the Instagram reels, which is a pain in the ass. If you've ever made content before, it's just so annoying. But yeah, that's the last thing we need to do. And then after that, it's pretty much hands off, and let's see if we get any traction on it. Okay, so now we have to actually create our Instagram reel, which is our last, way on getting more distribution and getting more people to actively go on the website and perhaps become a user / customer, right? And I think a great way is through Instagram marketing. You should not be spending any money nowadays on ads, anything that's paid, right? Sponsorships, whatever, right? You shouldn't be spending any money on that. There's so many opportunities out there to make content, post content, and get something trying to go viral worthy. And I think that's going to be a lot more efficient on getting people to wherever you need, or getting people to your app, your SaaS, your product, your agency, your business, right? It's so much better using content nowadays than using paid ads. So that's what we're going to be using right now. We're going to be creating some Instagram reels for the product. I think we're going to make 1 to 2. And then what I usually like to do is basically just scroll on my phone. I could go to my Instagram. I really just like to go to my Instagram and just scroll stuff, because we're going to find a lot of content ideas. And once we find those ideas, ideas that are already working, preferably, right? And then maybe a format or a certain way, right? And then once we understand, the content we want to make, we create the scripts and we just record, perhaps do some simple editing. I don't think I'm going to be making any videos that we're going to require a lot of editing, but for instance, right? Average just proved that Claude SaaS review about 49% more than a video like this. It requires a lot of editing, and I don't think I'm going to be making those kind of content, especially for this kind of product. I'm going to be making something more simple, that just requires maybe 1-to-1, and then you're just shooting yourself recording, and I think that's a good way, maybe. So yeah, so right now I'm literally just gonna go on my Instagram and just scroll and find ideas that I think will help, promote an AI SaaS like this, right? Okay, so I finished making the video, and I'm gonna be uploading it tonight. But after I upload it, we complete all the phases that I wanted it to do, which is build the product, build the offer, identify the ICP, make the website, make a working checkout page, distribute it through X, my school community, my personal business network, and on Instagram as well, which is basically content marketing. So it wraps up our entire challenge, and the results would be, I think I'll give it maybe 48, 72 hours, and I'll touch base with you guys then and let you know what the end results are, what we finished on, how many users, how many people signed up, how many people paid, and kind of go over maybe some of the views I got for maybe my X post, my school community, and my Instagram reel as well. So it's been 48 hours since the last update, and here's where we're at. 2 people have paid to try out Polymine. Now it's only $1, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and call that revenue, but it's something. Somebody put out their credit card and typed in their details for a product that didn't exist 10 hours ago. And at this stage, that's the only signal I really care about. On a distribution level, the last X post I did got more than 1,000 views. And for context, my X post only has about 400 followers. So that's an outlier for my account. So I'm pretty sure it worked out, and I'm pretty confident one of the 2 people came from my ex because most of the site's traffic came from the link clicks for my ex post. And also because my school post only got a few comments from people inside the community, and the Instagram reel I made completely flopped and got like 400 views. And I also know for sure one of the 2 guys came from a person named Steve Pan. Now he's from a business network, and he already invests in prediction market startups and actively trades on Polymarket, Kalshi, and stuff like that. That is somebody who looks at this category professionally and saw what I built and went, yeah, let me try that out. Now he signed up and ran it himself. But after all this, the question really is, am I gonna keep pursuing Polymind? Now, well, the short answer is no, I'm gonna be killing it. But let me tell you what Polymind actually proved in 10 hours. 2 people paid to try out the product, mainly because they were curious or interested. But again, it was only a $1 commitment, but this is with very minimal distribution and marketing. My ex post got semi-viral, the Instagram video I made completely flopped, right? But my business network pulled through. So there's a couple of green lights, and that's a better first day than most startups. But here's the thing nobody tells you about opportunity. An opportunity isn't good or bad on its own. It's good or bad depending on the cost of pursuing the opportunity. In other words, opportunity costs. And right now, I'm running Autoplay, which is my main business on helping businesses implement AI. So for Polymind to be worth my time, it has to be something that I truly believe has potential. And I don't think it does. I don't think this thing is gonna be massive. I think it's a good idea with a lot more of time and effort to be done on the product side until it has product market fit. Which brings me to you. If you're watching this right now and you're starting out with nothing, I mean, no clients, no revenue, no offer, no proof of concept of a business that you've started, this clears the bar easily. If I was starting over and I had a product with 2 paying customers and a semi-viral post after 10 hours of work, I would not be sitting here thinking about killing it. I'll be thinking about how to get 10 more customers by Friday and then 20 more by next Friday. It's the same exact opportunity, but it's a no for me and a yes for you if you're just starting out. The opportunity cost is just too great for me, which is the main reason I'm not gonna be pursuing this thing. And if you can take one thing out of this challenge, take this. I sold this before it worked. I literally vibe coded the product, the website, the workflow in under an hour, right? And that's the whole game right now. Ideas are worthless. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend Polymind was some genius insight or idea I came up with before the challenge. I mean, I got the idea from a couple of kids my age that are already crushing it with this kind of product. Everyone's trying to optimize to create the perfect website or product, but really you should be optimizing to find out fast whether or not it even has the slightest glimpse of potential. And perfect isn't the standard. A shipped and tested product or concept is the standard. And look, you saw the whole thing. You saw the plan that I made for this challenge and you saw the parts that didn't work, but for the majority, it worked out okay. And that's not because I'm bad or really good at this. That's because the plan I wrote up for this challenge was built on years of doing this and getting it wrong. And even with all that, I still got some of it wrong, right? So if you're sitting there going, I just don't know where to start, I don't know how, I don't know what, don't worry, you just need to keep on grinding. That's the real price of entrepreneurship, not the 10 hours, but it's the years before the 10 hours, and it's the years before you see any results. But if you want to skip all that part, that's what I do, right? I work with people one-on-one on building AI business, the offer, the outreach, the delivery, all of it. Link in the description to book a call to see whether or not you're a good fit for this program. It's gonna be really beneficial for you to get someone like me who has a lot of experience in this so that you can skip years ahead of your journey. But before you go, I've made my call. I'm gonna stop pursuing it, not because it's a fit experience, but tell me I'm wrong. I read every single comment, so comment below if you think I'm leaving money on the table or potential, make the case, because if enough of you make a good enough argument, I'll do a part 2. Drop a like if you got something out of this video, subscribe, I post content. I've been a little inconsistent nowadays, but still subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.